Yeah, we'll see how he is day to day. I don't know if he'll practice tomorrow or not, but we're going to prepare for both ends of things.
Is tomorrow a big day to be out there though? A Tuesday, whereas
every day is a big day.
Is there a cutoff point in the week where he can't go?
What time do we kick off? 6 o'clock on Saturday? Yeah, 6 o'clock Saturday. Then we'll know for sure.
So find you at 5:59.
Exactly. Wave up to me and I'll tell you.
With Roach, he just mentioned that being prepared to play was one of the big things for him. How do you stress that for a kid? He's a young kid.
Because in the meeting room, you tell him that. You go, okay, Compton's down. And I think sometimes it hits them then to go, I really am in. Right. You know, they're just one play away from being the guy. We had, unfortunately, a great example what happened to Compton and Fisher last year. I mean, Compton got hurt Thursday before the very first game. I mean, you don't think that if those other backers weren't prepared, it could have been a very, very tough season. And it's the same thing, another example now. Compton goes down after, 3 plays, and Roach had to go. So all of our young players now are realizing, I better be ready, because when they say I'm a play away from playing, it's for real.
Were you concerned about that?
Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, for the kid.
Okay.
You know, I mean, my goodness. What a tragic year he had at the start of last year. Prepared himself, worked his tail off, and all of a sudden misses whatever it was, half a year, whatever it was. And then to go down with another injury right away in the game. So first of all, I felt sorry for Will, but once I found out it wasn't the end of the world for him, that he's going to be okay, then it was, okay, let's get everybody else and remind them of the little things they need to do and what we're going to see from Chattanooga.
In your time as coach, you've coached a long time, you've seen different things. Have you ever had a backup guy that wasn't ready and somebody like this quick change deal where Compton goes down and Roach, he hadn't been ready?
Yeah, I define ready. You know, if they were as good as a starter, we'd be splitting time with them, and that's not the case. So you're going to drop a little bit, but you're right, Mike. It's that kid has to be able to step in and fill those shoes, and if not, then you haven't recruited very well. And fortunately, they've done a very good job.
And most of the guys that you get understand that. I mean,
oh yes.
Just in a literal sense, it could be a guy standing on the sideline thinking, I'm never going to get in anyway. So
later in the year, it's tougher, because a kid that's backing up 8 games into the season that's only been playing 10 snaps or mop-up duty, now all of a sudden being the guy, it's like, oh wow, now comes my turn. So I think later in the season it's a little harder, because now during preseason and everything else, everybody's getting a ton of reps. Give them reps, get them ready. And then later on, if you taper back at practice a little bit, maybe that backup isn't getting quite as many reps. So I think it might be a little easier in the beginning part of the year, but no part of the year is good to have to do it.
You probably learn more about a guy's focus later in the year.
Yeah,
he can still get the mental.
You're right. Yeah, I think so, and you find it out in practice every day.
Is it a little more incumbent on the guy in the middle linebacker? Does he have to know a little bit more about?
Well, ideally, yes. We would like, in our system, our middle linebacker to make a ton of checks and make a lot of decisions based on what we're seeing from the offense and what our call is. However, when you get in the situation like we were in on Saturday with a guy like Levante David, who's played a ton of snaps, and Trevor Roach, who hasn't played any, Levante David took over. So it doesn't have to be the middle linebacker in our system, but we would like it to be as much as possible, because he is in the middle and he can talk to guys on either side.
How's Levante that?
Oh, he just took charge, but which is good. I mean, he's so smart. I mean, he did a great job. He made all the checks for us, got guys lined up. And then we do change a lot of things up there defensively based on what we see.
Levante's that type of guy.
Yeah, oh yeah, very much so. He and Will both. I mean, when those two are out there, it's pretty smooth.
How did Fisher run? I mean, you think did he pursue well? How did he look out there?
He did. I thought Fisher ran really well, especially late in the game. They kept bringing the tailback across, kind of a little screen play, and then one time he didn't quite get there, but at the end of the game he did. So I think as the game went on, he ran better. Had 2 missed tackles, which we're not happy about, that he needs to bring his feet and just take one more step. But other than that, I thought he played well.
Is there anything else about Levante that you see that makes him what he is? I mean, what are if you had to list his best attributes, 1, 2, 3, what did
he has a knack, which good linebackers do. He knows where he's supposed to be, but if I can go maybe inside or outside a guy to make a tackle, he can wiggle his way through there. That's number one. A lot of that has to do with his incredibly quick feet. He's got quick feet that make him tough to block. The second thing, as I said, is his intelligence. He understands blocking schemes. He understands routes. I challenge those older guys to be like an offensive coordinator, so you know what they're trying to accomplish on every play, and those 2 guys are able to do that.
Couldn't that get him into trouble though sometimes if he's anticipating too much?
No, because as long as it's reactionary, he's okay. I know what you're trying to get at, but now as long as it's reactionary and not guessing, he's going to be fine.
Roach missed about a week and a half of practice reps. How much did that kind of set him back, you think? Or did it?
Oh yeah, very much so it did. But he really, Trevor, like most of our linebackers, are really focused individuals. I mean, he's out there with the practice script every practice, even when he didn't practice, and he was able to get at least mental reps. And when he came back, I was pleasantly surprised that he was really ready to, step into this type of a role. He didn't lose a whole lot mentally. I think more physically, taking on blocks, those kind of things are the things he missed out on the most.
So is it mentally? Is it just like reads and stuff? Is that?
Well, two things. Number one, getting us in the right defense. We change defenses based on what the offense shows us, and usually our Mike linebacker makes a lot of checks there. So that's number one. And then number two, being able to see things from a big picture standpoint. When you're a young player, you kind of look through that little periscope in here, and that's all you see. When you're a guy who's played a lot, you can see everything, every puller, every back, every offensive line, hi-hat, all those kind of things. And so the more experience he has, the more he'll be able to broaden his vision.
You said Levante kind of took over.
Oh yeah.
The defense,
yeah.
Calls.
Yeah.
Do you anticipate him doing that again this weekend?
Oh yeah, very much so. Yeah. But he does it really. Even though Compton, when he's in there, is the guy who makes a lot of our checks, Tay's right there, and they're talking to everybody constantly. So it really wasn't that big of a difference for Tay to do it. But now instead of Compton saying it first and Tay maybe doing his part, Tay kind of took over and said, okay, here's what we're doing.